Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 8 of this Football Manager 17 career here at Alfreton Town. We've finally reached the end of the second season of this save, and the season's ended quite well, to be honest. So I'm going to show you the games that we've had. I'm going to round up the news that we've got at the end of the season, then we're going to play the last game, and then we'll just do a little bit of a scout around the Football Manager world in 2018 and see what's been happening in the football world. So that's the plan for this episode, so I'll just show you the games that we've had so far. So in the last episode you saw that thrilling game between ourselves and Tamworth, that 3-3 game. At that point when you left us there was a slim chance of a playoff push. As you can probably see by the results that we've had since that game, we've just drawn 3 of the 4 games we've had, and we've just dropped out of the reckoning for the playoffs. So we'll just be playing for pride in today's game against Kettering. Kettering in the relegation zone. I don't think they've got any chance of survival either. So we hope to finish on a high in front of our home fans. In terms of the games we've had, we played Nuneaton at home and we got a good 3-1 victory in this. We were 3-0 up. It was a late consolation goal by Billy Daniels that took bit of the shine off the performance, but it was a really good performance. Nuneaton down at the bottom of the table, and we managed to brush them aside in this game. I'm going to show you Brendy Larkin's goal. He's continued to be in decent scoring form. He's only scored 10 goals this season, but he hasn't played all the games, and he's only a young man on loan from Oldham, and he was talked about as a potential Division Player of the Year. I don't think he's got any chance of getting that, but he's had a good season. I'll be hoping that we can get hold of him in one shape or form next season. But that was a great finish from him, as you saw there. Brought the ball down and hit the ball across the keeper. And that was the second goal in our 3-1 victory over Nuneaton. We then travelled to Stalybridge, and this really was an opportunity for us. We led twice in this game. Ronaldo Brown had put us in front, and things were looking good for us. They pegged us back before half time, but they then went down to 10 men when the game was at 1-1. But this is the first goal. Glackin found his fellow loanee Brown, who tapped it home. Nice little finish from Ronaldo Brown. He's been a decent loan in from our parent club Oldham. Bradley Williams got our second to put us 2-1 ahead, and we're playing against 10 men at this stage. Off the bar there, and he's tapped in the rebound. But we managed to let that lead slip against 10 men, and Stalybridge got themselves an equaliser with 10 minutes to go. We've had a bit of an issue with late goals this season, if I'm honest, and that was probably a killer blow to any playoff hopes we had, because we were then going to play Fylde, who are champions, and Salford, who were second in the league at the time of this game. We managed to draw them both, so they were decent results. Liam Hearn got us an equaliser against Fylde. It was a good performance, and this was the game that crowned Fylde as champions with this draw. But we managed to get a late equaliser with Liam Hearn. He's been rotating with Brendy Larkin in that striker's role, but he came on as a substitute in this game. Allen on the left wing got the ball to Montgomery, who managed to find Hearn, who volleyed it home, and a good equaliser there for us. The last game that we played was a game against Salford. We went behind in the first minute, and then Lewis Taff got us an equaliser in the first half. We'll have another quick look at this goal. Lewis Taff was the man who scored our first goal of the season, and there's a potential he scored the last goal of the season if we don't manage to get a goal against Kettering. But a simple free kick out wide, Allen with the ball across, and he fired the equaliser home. But by this stage our playoff hopes were gone. We were going to need a miracle to beat the top teams in the league to give ourselves any chance. So if we have a look at the league table, we are in 10th position. Hopefully we can finish 9th today with a win. We could drop down in the league, but we're playing Kettering, who are confirmed as relegated, so hopefully we can take advantage of that and beat them in this home game and get ourselves up to 9th place. That would be a good finish considering where we started. If we have a look at our progress through the season, you can see we had that rough start where we were languishing around the bottom, and it was only in the middle of the season we really started to find a shape. We played this 4-5-1 shape, and we got ourselves into a little bit of form, and we got ourselves into the top half. So a top half finish would be a brilliant end for us. So hopefully we can manage that. In terms of news around the club, I have signed a new contract. So they came to me to ask if I'd be interested in a new contract, and I was, and I've got a pay rise. So I was on £230 a week. I'm now on £325 a week, so that's nearly £100 a week in wage rises, which will be good. I'm happy with that. It's still going to be struggling to buy a house anyway, but let's keep this career building. We're on more money, and we've got a promotion wage rise if we can manage to get ourselves into the Vanarama National. So that was a boost, and not too unexpected considering we've hit expectations, but no, that was a boost nevertheless. One more bit of contract news. Liam Hearn has signed a new contract. So I mentioned him earlier in the episode. He got a goal in the episode. He's got another year on his deal now. I'm not sure whether it will be a starting striker next year, but he's going to be a good option to have around. He's a determined character, good player, team player, still got decent physicals, though he's 32, so they could start to decline. He can definitely do a job for us for next season, so it's good to have him around. So I'm going to get into today's game against Kettering and pick the team. I'll see you there. And here's the side that's been selected for this final game of the season. There's going to be a couple of changes, some probably unexpected names in the side, but I feel like it's a good opportunity to have a look at a couple of people. Owen Howe's been our ever-present goalkeeper this season. He's played 44 games in all competitions. We've only had Barry Leverington as a reserve this season. Young 17-year-old keeper. I'm going to have a look at him today. He's a 1.5 star player, decent handling. Not great on one-on-ones, to be honest. Hopefully we can develop that, but I thought I'd have a look at him, give him a debut in this end-of-season game. Sam Ling, Callum Howe, Brad McGowan and Tom Allen are going to be the back four. Brad McGowan hasn't played a huge amount of football this year. He's a 2.5 star player, but a potential 5-star player. So I think it's probably worth having a look at this 21-year-old in the final game of the season. That means Ewan Murray and Terry Kennedy miss out, so Terry Kennedy is the captain. That doesn't mean he won't be around next season. He's already signed a contract, but I just thought it was a good opportunity to have a look at Brad McGowan. The rest of the side is probably quite familiar. Bud Williams in the anchorman role, Winter and Montgomery. Montgomery's been our player of the season, I think. Lewis Taff and Ronaldo Brown out wide, with Liam Hearn as the target man up front. Brendan Glacken will be on the bench today. I'm confident of a victory in this game. We're 6-1 on favourites for this. Kettering are down, as I've already said. They're 4 points adrift of safety coming into this last game of the season. They're going to play a diamond formation, so we might try and exploit the flanks, which we're already looking to do, but I might try and play wider at some point during this game. We'll expect them to go out and dominate the game, so let's hope that doesn't freak them out. They've been underdogs for a lot of this season and played really well in that role, but we're expected to win this one. Let's hope this isn't another Workington game. For those of you that saw that game earlier in the season, that really was a painful one. And that was the first half without any highlights. That was a drab half. We've only had one shot, and that was a half chance. And nothing worth a highlight. So I'm going to provoke a reaction in the second half because that wasn't good enough. I know I've made a couple of changes, but I wouldn't expect it to have affected them that badly, if I'm honest with you. We'll try and play in a mixed style, get the ball out wide a little bit quicker, and we'll turn off working the ball into the box. So still no highlights in this game. I'm going to look to make a change, get things freshened up. Going to get Brendan Glacken up front. He's going to come on and play as a target man. I'm going to leave it as that for now, but I think Jack Byrne may get some minutes today, and I'll have a look at Jay Wilson as well at some point. Free kick here and cleared away, so maybe we can break. Glacken, we was hoping for a free kick. He hasn't got it, and Buckley has punished us. Glacken was looking to hold the ball up. The players are going mad because that should have been a free kick. I thought it was a free kick, but it wasn't given, and Kettering had taken advantage. You can see Glacken holding the ball up. He's surely tripped there by Reeves. Not given. It's a great finish by Buckley. Straight past Leverington in goal. But I don't think he should ever have had the chance to do that. Really not happy with how we've played here, so I'm going to make a aggressive change. I'm going to get Brad Williams off. I'm going to put another man up front, so Lewis Taft's going to go and play up front in the poacher role. That's a lie. He's going to play as a defensive forward, and Glacken will play as an advanced forward. So we'll change that around, making this up on the hop because Lewis Taft is not a regular striker for us. We're going to get Jay Wilson on out wide on the right, and still happy with that. Bring the tempo down slightly, and hopefully this can create us some chances. So it's a throw in deep in Kettering's half. They're going to look to get this ball cleared up the field, I think. And Allen can pick it up on the left hand side, get the ball into Ronaldo Brown, and it's an equaliser. It's our first real chance of the game, and Ronaldo Brown has taken advantage. And we're level with 10 minutes to go. Can we push in front in this game? We go, ball over the top. Defenders are out of position. It's a great take by Ronaldo Brown, and then puts it right in the corner. So it's a late corner for Kettering. Ball's been headed away. There's only 10 seconds to go, so I don't know if there's going to be a chance from this. It's a good tackle by Winter. Don't think we've got long enough to get the ball forward, and we haven't. It's 1-1 to finish the season. It's a disappointing finish. Maybe I should take some of the blame for rotating the side around a little bit, but we finished in 10th place. We didn't fall or move up any places. A win would have got us up to 9th, which would have been a nice finish, but I'll take 10th. That's better than expected at the start of the season, so really pleased with this first season at Alfreton and looking forward to next season. And now I've got to get into the summer's work, I believe, and have a look at who I can get in to make this team better than it is. We're gonna have quite a few people leave the club, but I'm looking to keep the core starting 11 together. Unfortunately, it does include 4 loan players, so I'll be keeping an eye on them, and hopefully we can bring them back in on a permanent basis. But we'll have a look around in the summer, and I've got my eye on a few players, and we'll see what we can do. But there's confirmation of Barry Leverington making his professional debut. Conceded 1 on his first game of the season, but overall it wasn't a bad debut from him. So finally in this episode I'm going to have a look at the world of football in 2018. I'm going to skip on a little bit. We're only at the 28th of April at the moment, so I'm going to get into May, and then we can have a look at who's won the major competitions this season. And as promised, we're going to have a quick look around the world of football in 2018. So we'll go through the divisions and we'll have a look at who's won, who's gone down, and see if there's any surprises in the world of football. And we'll start in the Vanarama National League North, which is where we've played and finished in 11th. And as we've seen, Fylde won the title. Salford went on to win the playoffs, which is probably fair considering they finished 2nd. And at the bottom of the table, Kettering, Workington and Nuneaton went down. Workington and Nuneaton were a long way adrift. Kettering had a little flirt with the safety, but they've lost their National League North status as well. In the National League South, Ebbsfleet are now into the National League, and Chelmsford have gone up with them through the playoffs. Eastbourne Borough will be disappointed with that. Dorchester, Havant and Waterlooville and Concord have gone down. In the National League, Barrow are now a Football League team, so they've gone up as champions. Morecambe are back into the Football League. They must have gone down the previous season. So a quick look at them. Yep, they went down from League 2, but they're straight back up through the playoffs. Bromley, Sutton United, Boston United and Hampton and Richmond have been relegated, so we could be coming up against 1 or 2 of those sides next season. In League 2, Coventry, who again must have been relegated, they've gone straight back up as champions. They've gone up with Notts County, who were struggling in real life. They were back up into League 1. Cambridge are up into League 1. as well as Wickham through the playoffs, and Newport County and Grimsby have both gone down to the conference. In League One, Preston are up as champions, and Sheffield United are finally back into the Championship. They've made it in second place, and Barnsley have sneaked in to get back into the Championship. They finished in 6th, but have gone through the playoffs. Oldham, senior affiliate, have gone down, unfortunately. Bradford City and Scunthorpe and Swindon have also gone down. Oldham went down by 2 goals in the end, so they'll be very upset with that. I don't know if that'll have any effect on who we can get on loan. Maybe Brendan Glacken and Ronaldo Brown might play a bit more first team football now they're in League 2. But hopefully we can get hold of those guys off them. In the Championship, Burnley and Norwich are back into the Premier League. Burnley have gone straight back up, having been relegated the previous season. QPR have gone up through the playoffs. They beat Wolves in the playoff final. Villa and Wednesday also missing out in the playoffs. MK Dons, Peterborough and Charlton are back into League 1, so not too surprising there. Just having a quick look through to see if there's any surprising names in that division. Sunderland were very low in the table, so they've managed to avoid going down twice. That was a bit of a worry for them at some stage, I imagine. In the Premier League, Manchester United are champions into the Champions League with Arsenal, Tottenham and Manchester City. Chelsea finished 5th, Liverpool 6th, and Stoke have also qualified for Europe. Brighton, Middlesbrough and Derby have gone down, so again not too many surprises that you'd see in there. If we just have a look at the Premier League, Arsenal had won it in 16-17, so Manchester United are back on top. Manchester United have also won the English FA Cup, so they beat Crystal Palace in the final of that competition. Tottenham had won that in the previous season. Chelsea won the League Cup. They won that on penalties against Manchester United. Manchester United were on for the treble, the domestic treble there, but Chelsea managed to win that on penalties to deny Manchester United that domestic treble. Manchester United did manage a treble though. They've won the Euro Cup. They've beaten AC Milan in the final. I believe that's the Champions League, isn't it? I haven't updated the title of these competitions and added the licenses to them, but Manchester United have won the Champions League, so they have won the treble. They could have won all 4 if they'd won the League Cup, but it's just the treble for them. They'll have to be happy with that. And ignore whatever I just said previously, because Manchester United have won the Euro Cup, which is the Europa League. Sorry, I've made a mess of that. They have won a treble. It's not the big treble. They haven't won the European Cup because Manchester City have won that. They beat Tottenham in the final. So English teams have dominated in Europe this year as well. And we'll have a quick look at Dundela and see what they did last season. They were the team that we managed in the first half of the season. This is the squad they've got left. I can still recognise a few names in there. Ben Roy, Darren Dempster came in goal, Cormac Deary, Darrell Bright, Denver Taggart were players that I'm familiar with from my time there. They finished 5th in the Intermediate League, which they'll be disappointed with. Again, their expectations were to win that division, which it's a shame they haven't, and they were nowhere near really. They were a good way off PSNI, Newington and Donegal Celtic, so another frustrating season for Dundela, and maybe we've made the right decision to have moved on from Northern Ireland. So that's the roundup of the end of the season, the end of the second season in this save, and I'll get through the summer now and we'll come back for the first game of the season. I'll take you through who we've signed in the summer, any news that we've seen over the summer, and then we'll get into next season as soon as we can. See you next time.